Hey guys, it's Anemia. I decided I'm going to post a vlog. It's 2 in the morning. I don't know what I'm doing, but realistically, I just want to go ahead and, let you guys know a little about me and what goes on in my life. So, here I am. I'm 28 years old. I might be a new homeowner soon. We've just closed a deal on my first house. We're waiting on the inspection to go through, and then once that does, hopefully we will have our first house. No more apartment living for me. I'll have something that's actually worth value. Not giving my money away due to rent and just paying someone else. So, something I'm serious about is definitely business and philosophy, science. I can go on about these things in many, many videos, I promise you. But I just want to give you a little backstory as to who I am and what I've been doing. So, my name is Victor. Again, I'm 28. I live in Tucson, Arizona. I was born in Erie, Pennsylvania. But honestly, I lived there 14 and a half years. That's not really like my adult life. It doesn't really shape exactly who I am. But experience is a very important thing. I feel like nobody's experience should be denied, because after all, we all do relate to humanity, so no one's experience can be ruled out. I feel that it's silly to go ahead and argue things like religion or spirituality, because everyone has their own way of understanding these things and otherwise, wanting to believe in them. I think that there's great tenets to be taken from any religion. It's important for everyone to listen to everyone else, because you might learn something. So the greatest thing I would want to go and pass on to others is to keep an open mind. So a little history again about me. I've been a video gamer all my life. Probably at age 4 I started playing the original Nintendo NES, and I moved on to the Super Nintendo, PlayStation, N64, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PC. Before Guitar Hero, I was very interested in Halo. I would have considered myself a Halo pro. But I was held back by my stepdad because he wouldn't let me go compete at events. Once I was sponsored to go compete at an MLG event, I wasn't allowed to travel. This kind of dampened the shine, as I would call it, of wanting to get really good at the game, because I couldn't progress anymore. So I branched out into Guitar Hero. In 2008, I bought Guitar Hero 3. I used to play it at this game store called Play and Trade Games. I would play on the DualShock, or not DualShock, but also the Xbox controller, and then I migrated to guitar. I used to play expert mode before I even touched the guitar. Then 2008, I got a guitar, got the drive to want to be really good at the game. Used to watch Guitar Hero Phenom and other good people at the time. Made me want to try to become the best, or one of the best. So I played and continually pressed on, trying to get better. And I have to say, one of the major things I believe in is just going and doing what works. So a lot of people would argue that spamming is a very cheap thing to do and not a very good thing in a rhythm game especially. So I had second thoughts and decided I was going to move on to something else, because I was tryharding all the time without real drive to want to play the game for fun. I just wanted to be good, and I would play only to keep my skill. So I didn't really have fun anymore before the time I quit, because I was just continuously going to play to try to be better and definitely not lose skill, because even 4 or 5 days of not playing, it would take an impact on my performance. Well, I had too much of that, so I decided to move on. Started playing OS or Osumania before that. I was playing it recreationally because I wanted a little something else to do on the side that I could actually enjoy. Something I didn't have to take so seriously, just do it for fun, not have any expectation of becoming the best, because I've always liked that, but I kind of ran out of time for it with having to work and all. And the great thing that resulted from me not playing as much is that I met my wife. In November 2015, we met and got together on day one and decided to marry. So this is the result of us having gone over our beliefs on having children, on God, as well as being faithful and committed to each other for the remainder of our lives. This is something I've wanted since I was 13 years old. I've basically been waiting to meet the love of my life. And so it happened. I met the love of my life. Her name is Jillian, and we spent a whole year together. And on November 7th, 2016, we got married. Honestly, the best day of my life. So I feel as if like my Guitar Hero progress is almost unimportant in comparison to my life progress. And now I'm about to become a first-time homeowner, and I want to branch out into business. One of the things I've been interested in and doing a little bit of dabbling in is electronics reselling. I go on to Craigslist and I post ads asking to buy people's phones and electronic devices, laptops, tablets, mainly those things. Some games, some consoles. But anything I could go and make a profit off on eBay. I take these things in. I first appraise them. People tell me what they have. I make an evaluation as to what it is that it's worth. I check sold items on eBay and what people have gotten for the same items that just sold recently. And then I offer like 30, 40, 50, maybe a tiny bit more percentage of what that selling price was. And this is a very good way to make profit because I'm not working for another company, working for commission or pennies on the dollar. I used to sell home security systems for $1,000+ a piece, and I get a $10 commission. Not really a good payout. With doing the Craigslist to eBay thing, or Craigslist to even Craigslist thing, sometimes I sell the same thing I bought locally. I just wait a little while. And this way I take the full profit except for any sort of fees that I have. So for example, on eBay there's the final value fee. I have to pay 10% of the selling price. So if I sell a $250 phone, I pay $25 in fees to eBay. Then I also have 3% fees to PayPal and shipping fees, of course. And maybe some additional fees in the event that someone has to return an item because there's something wrong with it. It was not described as it was supposed to be, or as it was received, or it's just something along the lines of something that doesn't match up with what I was selling. There's sometimes phones that aren't paid off and such, and those can't be used by people because it's just like has activation locks and whatnot. But this is a very good way to profit off of just working from home. I feel like it's a very silly thing to have to work for the middleman, making someone else a profit, working by the hour, slaving away all my time for someone else's gain. It's kind of a silly thing. Minimum wage and, the whole life just being put into making money for someone else. Even if you get a college degree, you're just going to get hired by some company and they're just going to get a set amount for you. Here, you get $50,000 a year. You're going to be stuck at this until 3 years, and you can maybe get $58,000 or $62,000 or something like that. They give you just another limitation on as to how much you can make. So my biggest goal would be to become a successful entrepreneur and take advantage of capitalism and the systems around me to help use money to take place of my time. Because they say that time is money. So I guess that money is also time. Probably the most valuable thing to me is my time. And I just use it for what I want to use it for. I don't think Many people like working. I certainly don't like working, but I like making money, especially if it doesn't have any constraints. Alright, moving on. I would like to talk a little about God, but I don't want people to be discouraged in me saying the word God, because I feel as God as relating to the universe in a sort of way, because it can be explained by science and math and physical means as well as spiritual means. So, again, I feel as if humanity is a level playing field for everybody. Everyone is able to have the same type of experience, so it's silly to judge someone wrong just because you might not agree with them. Now, some people are wrong because they haven't experienced enough to disprove or prove the things that they believe in. But what I believe in is that we are part of one God. No matter what religion you are or what spirituality you are, we are a part of the same universe. And if you think of it this way, everyone is a child of God. If you look at it as the universe, there's no exception there. We are all a product of nature and the biological processes and chemical processes that bring about things here in the world. This applies to everybody. So to call yourself exempt from having God just means that you haven't really explored the idea. I tried to bring people onto this idea because it's very great. It brings great connectedness in your life and great power to you, the human being, because you are the creator of your own reality. Now, I say this because you are in control of your own thoughts and emotions and beliefs and everything that goes into what you do. If you weren't here to have that experience, you can't prove that it exists. So what you believe and what you see, what you think goes. What you do with that is what determines your life. So if you're not trying to build upon what you know, you're not going to make much advancement in knowing anything greater. So I feel like the way gaming has helped me in this is that I've always wanted to advance and move on to a higher level. So this goes just as much intellectually as it does for gaming. I wanted to always learn about myself and the things around me. See, I think it's really beautiful that we're in a universe where everyone can be equals. And people that argue religion are just silly, because there are great things to be taken out of religion. There are great, powerful things that drive people to do great things. I'd have to say one of the most powerful things in this world is love. And that's brought me to the major realizations that God exists, because without love, I wouldn't have had a lot of meaningful coincidence in my life to show me the power of my thoughts. Because of my thoughts, I have brought more experiences into my life and circumstance, so to speak, to help prove the way that I think relates to the things that happen in my life. This is called synchronicity. If you look it up on Wikipedia, it has great detail of information as to what I believe in. I believe that what you think matters. So this can also come down to this book I read called The Law of Attraction. Essentially, that means depending on what you think about, you get that in your experience whether you want it or not. You get more of the like. So like attracts like, and not the other way, where like attracts opposites, or opposite attracts alike, or opposites attract in basic speak. That's not true, because what you do attracts more of what you do. It just helps to notice more of what you do. And honestly, I could go on about this forever, because the type of meaningful coincidence I've had in my life extends to things that I would almost describe as miracles. Now, originally, I didn't believe in God, I didn't believe in love, I didn't believe in miracles. My parents did, and I was always very against them. I felt like they were trying to control the way I think. Let me think for myself. And what happened was I did think for myself. I questioned everything. I like to be analytical about everything, want to know everything, and one thing led to another, and there's just more proof and evidence for the things I initially denied because I didn't even consider. Something to think about. But to me, business is important because I want to achieve something greater in life. Gaming is great and all, but I really have something to offer to the world. I can constantly benefit myself, which means I can benefit others. Now, the reason I say this is that we're not animals. We have our own experiences, and we can relay these experiences to other people, which can learn from the experiences. Meaning that we don't have to make mistakes for ourselves to find out what might be the right thing to do. We can follow experts, or so-called experts, to help quickly advance our rate of success in a particular knowledge or field or whatever. That is a very powerful thing, because if you look to find successful people,